Welcome to Scenes We'd Like to See. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a fitness DVD.
Yoga. It's just stretching for twats.
Hello, I'm Darrow O'Brien.
Welcome to Fitness with Theresa May. I'm Amber Rudd.
I'm going to make you sweaty and breathless. I've turned the heating up and hidden your inhaler.
I'd like you to raise your arms to here, and then to here, and then to there. OK, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take away your disability benefits.
And remember, guys, pain is temporary, except for Tony, who got one of his nuts caught in the trampoline springs.
This isn't going to work, is it? You can't even be bothered to leave the house.
Stretch and release, stretch and release. Welcome to the penis enlargement workout.
Can you feel the burn? Then I recommend cranberry juice.
I never used to fit into this dress, but now I've had my penis removed.
Oh, yeah. You can feel the burn.
These used to be my trousers until I discovered the secret. Buying smaller trousers.
Next, I'm going to show you my pecs. There are thousands of them. I got assaulted by a chicken.
OK, let's work on those more unsightly areas. Bums, tums and Croydon.
OK, now we're going to watch a carry-on film so you can work on your core.
And remember, girls, when it comes to weightlifting, what we're really looking for is a nice, clean snatch.
Go on, just stretch. Reach for your toes. Reach for them. Imagine your toes are made of chocolate, you fat fuck.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
He pressed his lips to hers and slid his tongue in. That's not how you're supposed to do it, shouted the other paramedic.
He was everything a woman wanted in a man. He was 47, greying, chubby, slightly camp.
He kissed her breast, tenderly. Oh, she said, get your own KFC bucket.
Mr. Darcy is the most eligible bachelor in the county, said Mrs. Bennet, and he's hung like a fucking cart horn.
Everything was in place. The bubble bath had been poured. The chocolate was there. The scented candles had been lit. This was going to be the best wank ever.
He put the chocolates down beside her. Silence. And then at last she spoke. Unexpected item in the bagging area.
6'2" and with shoulders so broad they look like they could carry the weight of the world, and a full, lustrous moustache. Rebecca really was an unusual-looking lady.
He took her by the hand. It's wonderful to see you again. The country air becomes you. Bosom still heaving, I see. Shit, did I say that last bit out loud?
I need to hear you say it again. Why? Why do you love me, Alexa?
She had never had a ménage à trois before, let alone with two famous brothers. They drove her wild all night with their cries of, "To me, to you, to me, to you, to me."
Sophie looked absolutely beautiful in her flowing wedding dress. Admittedly, it was an odd choice to wear on a first date.
When they left the bar, she saw him in a new light. Daylight, and he was disgusting.
I want to see you shit in this bin.
Does fulfil the criteria.
Christian Grey turned to her and said, "I'm going to make you feel pain like you've never felt before." And he put Ed Sheeran's Galway Girl on repeat.
As he gently removed her bra, she whispered, "Why are you wearing my bra?"
Oh, Mr. Darcy, you're so becoming. Really? He replied, because I think it's you that will be coming.
Now we play a round called Don't Put Your Nuts on the Road. This game involves Ed, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner is the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is homelessness. Who wants to come in on that? Russ.
I had a really great incident with a homeless bloke the other day. That sounds fairly dodgy. It was really, it's weirdly uplifting. So I gave him £1 and I was kind of walking away and he went, "Oh, mate, I've got a magic dog." Now that is a sentence that buys you half an hour with me, right? And it had sick all down him, this dog, right? And the homeless bloke had sick down him as well. And I was like, "What happened?" And he went, "Oh, we was asleep in the skip and some bloke chucked up on us." It's the most depressing thing you've ever heard. And he just looked at me and went, "No, it was amazing." Like, really? Why is that? And apparently what he did, still covered in sick, he stood up in that skip and just went... So this bloke was so drunk, he thought his vomit had come alive. That man will never, ever drink again. Beer, Dave, it comes alive! It comes alive! Lovely moment.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is taxis. Who wants to come in on that?
One thing I don't miss about London is London cabbies. I used to live in Muswell Hill, a leafy suburb of London, about 6 miles north of here. That's what I thought when I bought the house. I get into a black cab in London's fashionable West End. Turned out I lived in the arsehole of nowhere. Because I'll get into a black cab and I'll go, "Muswell Hill, please," and I'll get this. I go, "No, mate, I'm not going that way." Like he thinks it's a bus he's driving. What do you mean you're not going that way? I'm not asking for a lift. You know, whenever I get this now, I just get in anyway. I go, "Right, fair enough. Where do you want to go?" Oh, spins them right out of that nose, doesn't it? "You what? Come on, where do you want to go?" "I'm paying." No, mate, doesn't work like that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Muswell Hill, please.
Thank you very much, Ed Barrett. OK, that leaves us with Frankie and Andy. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is transport.
I think the moral of that story is never ride your horse on a runway. You're, of course, not supposed to take planes anymore, not a problem for me. The thing that always mucks me up, that little monitor that you get, you know, outside air temperature, minus 56 degrees. I am inside the aircraft. I have no intention of of going outside the aircraft. And if I ever did find myself outside the aircraft, my initial response would not be, ooh, bit nippy.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's see what's been left for Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. It's celebrity. There you go.
It was the anniversary of Elvis's death recently. People still think that Elvis faked his death. Surely if you were going to fake your death, you wouldn't do it in a shitting accident. I mean, you'd do something brave, wouldn't you? Rescue a wee boy from a river. Surely not a jobby-related heart attack. We had the anniversary of Princess Diana's death. I thought that at the concert, only Ricky Gervais paid a true tribute to Diana by dying a painful and horrible death. You can get celebrity sat-navs now. You can get a Princess Diana sat-nav. It just keeps saying, put your foot down, I think we can lose them. I'll be honest with you, that joke can go either way.
Thank you all. OK, at the end of that round, I give the point to Russell and Andy. We start with a round called it This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ivo, which category would you like?
I would like home news, please, Dara.
Home news it is. The answer is 1 year. What is the question?
What would be an appropriate prison sentence for people who use the phrase hollybobs?
Not the answer, but I'll take it.
Is it how long the BBC have left now they've lost Bake Off?
And the clock is already ticking. Yeah.
Is it in a Wetherspoon's kitchen? What is the chef's equivalent of the 5-second rule?
Is it Southern Rail's estimate for a London to Brighton journey?
Do people kiss goodbye to their children at a Southern Rail station and go, you look after your mum?
How long does it take to earn £100 if you work at Sports Direct?
How long does it take a YouTube clip to buffer at my parents' house?
Is it... How long would Charles Manson have gotten in prison if he'd been a promising swimmer?
Yeah. Bit of truth.
Bit of politics there.
How long does Jeremy Hunt want junior doctors to work per week?
OK, so under Theresa May's education reforms, how much of a carefree childhood will children now be allowed?
Is it how long would it take to rewatch all of Dara's TV appearances from the last month?
Thank you very much.
If I make a joke about ISIS in the queue, how long will it take me to get through airport security?
OK, is that the correct answer?
I think, how long has Jeremy Corbyn been leader of the Labour Party?
It is indeed. Thank you very much, you guys. Well done. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panels can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear during an election campaign.
I know we didn't follow through on all that bollocks we said before, but this time we really mean it.
We in the Green Party think we've had a cracking election. Nobody's voted for us, but they've put all the election literature from us in the correct recycling bin.
We will get rid of obesity by making the doors to chip shops really narrow.
I visited a factory today, and the man let me ride on the forklift. It was good.
We are not a racist party, though we are throwing a racist party tonight for Nigel's birthday.
Farage, this is my bunk bed. You keep on the top bunk.
For goodness sake, Boris, when we said press the flesh with the electorate, we meant shake hands.
I'm probably going to vote Lib Dem.
I think the best way for me to explain why you should vote Conservative is with this rap.
Nick Clegg has demanded a recount. Here we go. 1. Happy now?
The public have spoken, and they said that I'm a knob.
We will shorten the waiting list for eye operations by building hospitals on the far side of busy roads.
We plan to replace the glass ceiling for women with something much easier to clean.
OK, here we go. The first subject is things you didn't hear during the election.
The truth!
And representing the Conservatives, Theresa May.
I promise to deliver a hard Brexit, unless you're not in, and then I'll leave it with your neighbour, which is Europe. I haven't thought that through.
The Scottish people have spoken. Did anyone understand what they were saying?
Here at the BBC, we need balance. Jeremy Corbyn shit.
So the polls have closed. Untie Boris.
Please welcome this month's Gay Times cover star, Tim Farron.
I am the returning officer, and it's great to be back.
I do not make U-turns, but more importantly, I do make U-turns.
Hello, and welcome to the Take Me Out All Night election special. Let the ballot see the box.
Would you press the red button? Mr. Corbyn, would you press the red button? We've been stuck in this lift for 20 minutes.
Taxes will be so low if you vote for me, Jimmy Carr.
This is my pledge. Get your own furniture polished.
I've got a great plan to save the NHS. First, we leave the EU. Then, we use the extra 350... Huh? Can I interest anyone in a free bus?
Hello, and welcome to Newsnight. Theresa May, Jeremy Corbyn, Tim Farron. Shag, marry, kill.
I am the returning officer.
Yes, OK. Jeremy Corbyn may have Stormzy, but I have Gary Barlow. Take that!
I'm going to create so much new housing, a series of one-room flats with an amazing view of London. Also, unrelated, I'm closing the London Eye.
One person in this election has consistently brought up green things. Me, Caroline Mucus.
So it looks like the Tory majority is going to be exactly the same as it was. What a fucking waste of time that was.
Do you know what I did like about the whole thing, though?
What did you like about the whole
Some of
thing?
the entertainment that they had.
What did they have as entertainment?
One of the things they were entertained by, Prince Charles's official harp player. Huh?
That's badass.
Because you think about it, like I'm not a big royalist, but when you got somebody like Obama rolling into town, there's not many other world leaders can sort of outdo him, you know. You've got to go royal on his ass, you know.
This guy.
Nobody else has got Air Force One or Marine One or anything like that, but you can still go, have you got your own official harpist?
That's pretty sweet. Can you have your own dream sequences? Oh.
He's the Prince of Wales. Why doesn't he just have whale music? Surely that's more his thing. Is he not that kind of Wales?
No, he's not the Prince of all Wales. It's not like Beastmaster. I call forth the whales.
Do you know what?
With them and my official harvest.
But even, I don't believe I have misunderstood that for 40 years.
Even this photo, I like to think he's just said, what, Congress won't let you have your own harpist? Baby, play him something.
We had a harp in our house.
Only the Prince of Wales could afford...
We had a harp in our house.
How Irish are you?
I'm unbelievably Irish. I am the most Irish person of all. Come dance with me in Ireland. We had a harp in the house, yeah.
Were the poor children of your town allowed to come and play the harp?
No,
they didn't have their own.
They would dance as I played. They would dance as I played.
I've got an image of you now as the Pied Piper of Dublin.
Very much
leading the kids away.
They're green culottes.
There will come a court case when they will replay this as evidence.
Yes. I come from a very different world.
Did he have anything? Did he have clothes that you could put on when you were playing the harp?
No, I played it naked. You straddle it. You straddle the harp naked, a leg on either side, right? But you hold your genitals close into the round bit so they're not there, and then you.
And if you're drunk, you just bang it with your lad. Bing, bing, bong. Bing, bing, bong.
I challenge you all. None of you who can play the harp with your penis like I can. None of you. Is there a man here who can play the harp with his penis?
Did you just call it your lad?
Your lad. That's what you call it.
No, it's not.
It is. We're in harp-playing country. That's what you call it, right?
I wonder Obama was looking surprised.
Aggressively sexually. Come on. What of it? What of it?
Playing a harp. So you're playing a harp with an organ.
Do you know what? Psychologically, this is doing me the world of good, because my dad was a bishop, so I used to spend quite a lot of my childhood dressing up as a bishop, and I thought I was weird.
Have you still got a harp? I don't have a harp. There was a harp in the house when I grew up, and it's still there. But yeah.
So now you have to go into, like, music shops to do it and stuff?
I might buy it. I might buy it. Someday.
Sir.
Walking in and playing Stairway to Heaven with your lad.
Sir, could you please at least wear a condom? Other people have been trying that harp.
You don't want to get harpies.
Yeah. Oh, the neat end of that.
Well, that's the NATO summit covered.
This show, man, it makes some points. It makes some points satirically. You know?
What's wrong, Britain? Too much truth for you?
Yeah.
Wake up, sheeple. Lifting the wool from your eyes.
Deleted lines from a fantasy film.
I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn, the heir to Isildur and part of the Fellowship of the Ring. Please leave a message after the tone.
Ron had been suffering from swine flu and people were avoiding him. Luckily, he was ginger and he was used to it.
I don't know why you're so upset, Harry. The original Dumbledore died 3 films ago and no one gave a shit.
Did you find Narnia in the wardrobe? No, Edmund. We found your porn stash.
My friends, we will never hear the word Mordor again. Taggart has been cancelled.
No, Harry, it's not a 5-headed dog. It's girls allowed. Me.
I am Aslan, formed by the merger of Asda and Matalan.
We had only been there for a day, but to us it felt like 15 years. That's Birmingham.
Did you honestly think I could be defeated by someone younger? I am Arlene Phillips!
Welcome to Mordor, twinned with Swansea.
This will never work, Frodo.
In the wardrobe, we found a magical compartment that led to the Fritzl family.
He stole it from me, my precious! Oh, no, it's in my pocket.
You all right, John? How's it going, all right? Yeah. How's the kids? All right? See you later.
I'm not a dwarf, I'm a lesbian.
Okay, the next topic is commercials that never made it to air.
I wipe my ass with Colgate. And now, I've got a ring of confidence.
If it tastes like butter and spreads straight from the fridge, you've probably had a power cut.
Condoms. Because if she'd sleep with you, she'd sleep with anyone.
Ryanair, because I'm worth shit.
As leader of the Labour Party, I always like to look my best. And it's very important to me to have a smooth finish, which is why I use the Mach 4. As I often say, that was a close shave, wasn't it, Gromit?
Frosties, they're all right.
New BG from Garnier. Exfoliates, hydrates, epilates, urinates. Probably not that last one.
Unlimited minutes, unlimited text, unlimited music downloads. Yes, it's our new twat on a train tariff.
Have a break. Have a wank.
Maybe she's born with it. In which case, I probably shouldn't take the piss.
Bekele has to walk for 5 miles every day for fresh water. That's why she ought to be thinking about the new Mazda.
Coco Chanel says, bloody horrible, I'm sticking to Horlicks.
Lidl, because life didn't work out as you planned.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bacon, doing an ad on British TV. What happened?
Have you got that bloated, uncomfortable feeling in your stomach? Then try going for a shit.
The DFS furniture sale is not currently on.
This Christmas, get Mocked a Week on DVD, featuring all the regulars. Dara O'Brien, and through this week, Andy Parsons, Will, Milton Jones, and of course, don't forget Mickey Flanagan, East End of London, and of course, very good, Chris Allison. Everyone, at the end of the line, the point to Alistair, Hugh, and Gary.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
Michael, Peter, David, Vladimir, I think we may have a spy in the organisation.
Give me the pentagon, then the triangle, and then the square.
Ah, Pussy Galore, Bond here. I've been told by my doctor that I need to contact all previous partners.
The owner of this motel dresses up as his mother and stabs people. But the guidebook says it's still better than the Ibis.
I want you to go to Warsaw, meet a man called Borislav. You'll then ask him why he didn't fix my plumbing before he left for home.
Miss Scarlett looked at him through the window. He had one massive testicle like a space hopper. That was why they called him Professor Plum.
This is no ordinary pen, Bond. Turn it upside down, the woman's clothes drop off, and you can see it hence.
Red or green, which do I cut? Come on, they're only peppers. How long is this salad going to take?
We need to find the third man. There's no way Amanda Holden will shag just two of us.
Here's Simon.
The Orient Express has been cancelled. However, there was a murder on the temporary Orient replacement bus.
I have amnesia. The tattoos on my body will tell me what happened. Dara was here.
I'd been a serial killer for 4 years, but they'd never given me a nickname. Then, you bite one guy in the ass, and suddenly you're the butt muncher.
Ah, the butt muncher's got me! The butt muncher's got me!
OK, the next topic is bad things to say at a wedding.
I do.
Don't worry, the vows are simple. Just repeat after me. Eeny, meeny, macaracka, rare, ride, dominaka, chicka-bocka, lollipopper, pom, push.
And we will now sing hymn number 225. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
When John went down on one knee, I wish I'd known that he was having a stroke.
I'd like to thank Elsie for the flowers. It was her funeral I nicked them from.
So your best man's in an absolute state. That's my mum.
Now, it's my job to tell some amusing stories about Gavin. So, first of all, for a kick-off, he's a hermaphrodite.
My bride always wears white. Isn't that right, Dolly? Bah!
Now, Carol's family have always had their doubts about me. So, first of all, let me explain why I'm naked.
This is my first gay wedding, so you must be the pretty one.
To my new son-in-law, I would say this. You have released me. This monster is yours now.
I would like to apologise for the state of my clothes and the smell of sick only I spent last night in a skip. Anyway, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
People have said to me, why have you stopped being a bachelor after so long? And I say, well, look at her. She's wealthy and she's dying.
It wouldn't be a traditional Norfolk wedding without a speech from the father of the bride and groom.
The end of that round, the points go to Frankie Hugh and Stewart.
Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is advertising. Who wants to come in? Mark.
I just think aggressive advertising has gone too far. It actually has the opposite effect for me. I saw a trailer for a film, Them. It was called Them. So I know it's a silly name. What do you mean, them? That's just anyone apart from me, for a start. Right? I'll narrow it down a bit. But it said on this trailer, you'll never feel safe in your home again. I think, OK, I won't go and see that then, thank you. Who needs to pay £12 for that? Yeah, how was the film? Brilliant. We've had to move out, though, unfortunately. Yeah. It drives you mad. After a while, you just think, can't people just calm down a bit? But in London, nearly everything is cleverly marketed. Even toilets. In London, you never just get toilets that say men, women. There's always a theme, like, you know, bucks and does. I think I don't know the answer. I'm drunk. Where do I piss? Let's just cut to the chase, shall we? I was in London, in this pub, the toilet said XX and XY. Like chromosomes. I know, I didn't realise I have to revise for this wee. You know? I would have done different A-levels if I realised it would restrict my pissing in the future.
Thank you very much, Mark.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is charity. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
It's, cheer if anyone's ever given clothes to Oxfam. Fair enough. You whooped then. Woo, do we win a prize? No. It's a really odd feeling because you feel quite proud of yourself. Just where am I going? I'm off to save Africa. That's right. And you wander in, you just plop down your clothes. Always some lovely lady buying it anywhere. And there's a tiny part of you that gets really annoyed. You almost want to go, right! Well, we'll do that again, shall we? And this time you're going to act like you give a shit. It sounds bad, but there's a tiny part of you that wants her to go, Sire, he brings goods! The chosen one has arrived! As you fling pants at orphans. Yippee, hurrah! Will you ever be back in time, you needy tinkers? Banana dance.
Russell Howard.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a royal correspondent to say.
Isn't it wonderful to see Prince Charles being made king at the age of 137?
And the Queen there majestically taking her place in the queue to withdraw her savings from Northern Rock.
The Queen asked me if I was from the BBC. I said I was, and she told me to piss off.
There we see Prince Philip going over to talk to a man from China. This should be interesting.
In fact, it's the Chinese Premier, and he's just asked him for a menu.
Prince Harry hasn't been put off by the congestion charge. He says he still manages to come into Chelsea twice a day.
Well, the crowd are absolutely loving this event. The night sky is dancing with light. Yes, the Queen set fire to Windsor Castle again.
It's great to see the whole family waving from the balcony through the sights of my AK-47.
In other royal news, who's been found in a car park in Leicester?
Stan Collymore.
This is Richard III, isn't it?
It is Richard III, yes.
Do you know about Richard III?
I know a little bit about Richard III, yes.
Well,
Although my image of Richard III would be kind of odd, because we weren't taught a lot of that in school, is of the Shakespeare...
Yeah. So he was the...
I think that was...
Skywalker! Your friends cannot save you now!
Oh, the Death Star will be quite operational. Your friends arrive.
You get a different version. You get a different version to us.
Richard III was the man who lost the War of the Roses to Alan Titchmarsh. And he died at the Battle of Bosworth, and his remains have been found under a car park in Leicester, which is great, but they don't know what to do with him because he's lost his ticket and he's got £6 grand in back payments. He's got to pay another 50 because he's buried across 2 spaces.
I'm amazed that anyone's shocked about finding him. The state of car parks these days, you can't walk 10 feet without putting your feet in a Richard III.
It's not a big deal either, is it? They found him in...
It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. They find Prince Harry in a skip most weeks.
It's an amazing addition to Leicester's Hall of Fame. They've got Engelbert Humperdinck, Shawaddy Waddy, Rusty Lee, and now Richard III. It's the worst variety show of all.
all emceed by Gary Lineker.
Please tell me that he comes on at the end.
I'm suspicious it is Richard III, but firstly because, you know, they didn't have car parks in the olden days, and also because they found the bones in a small cardboard box labelled Southern Fried Chicken.
Well, I think that's the reason chickens do have a curvature of the spine.
Yes, they do. Wings.
It is, yes.
And people were a lot smaller then, so...
They weren't the size of a chicken.
That's some way I have found Richard III. Just a chicken carcass. Yeah. We didn't have to dig. One of the cars pulled out and it was just here.
They think he killed the prince in the tower. They're not quite sure, but they think it was with a candlestick or the lead piping. That's one thing. And they think that now he was probably quite a good king, in fact. Don't they? He also said a horse, a kingdom for a horse.
I think he should be saying, the Force! My path for the Force! Skywalker! That is the greatest thing of everything in the world. Like,
oh, the Death Star will be quite operational.
There's a pitch beat in Monkey. Monkey!
I have
We've
given...
got like a Chinese Death Star. This Death Star a lot cheaper than the other Death Star. But it's not faster! What the hell is this? You cross my palm with a lightsaber. I tell you fortune!
You deliver to Endor! Endor out of range!
You have to correct! I put down the force field so you can get in, innit?
Now we play a round called Thief of Baghdad. This game Involves Ed, Jack, Andy and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator. It settles on a topic and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is sleep. Edbert.
Does anyone here sleep with someone who snores? Yes? Well, I envy you, because I lie awake next to someone who snores. My wife snores terribly, and part of what keeps me awake is lying there going, how do you sleep through this? I can't sleep through it, I'm only next to it. The noise is inside your head. And how come you can sleep through that? But the sound of me making a sandwich in our kitchen, that wakes you up. There is no way me making a sandwich makes more noise than you're making right now. She snores so... She said the cutest thing to me one time, though. She says, do I not sound like a kitten purring? Bless. No. You sound like a cat drowning in porridge. If I had a kitten made that noise, I'd put it down. Apparently, she had her nose broken a couple of times when she was a kid. Didn't teach her. She's still bleeding snores.
Thank you very much, Ed. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is health. Andy Parsons.
With flu jabs now, what they do, don't they, is they put a little bit of flu into you to help you combat the flu. I was thinking by that argument, surely you should be able to have the odd cake to help you fight obesity. Because let's face it, you can do too much exercise, can't you? You know, did you see Madonna's arms? They didn't look right, did they? It's like half human, half Terminator. Of course, that's the problem when you're always picking up small African children going, no, no, no.
Thank you very much, Andy. OK, the leads are Russell and Jack. Let's spin the wheel. The next subject is television. Who wants to come into that? Jack.
I get very frustrated with pretty much everything on television. I find adverts at the moment particularly annoying, like the banking adverts, because they're trying to portray bankers as being nice people. Like, they've got this one at the moment for, like, a mobile bank that travels around the country, and you walk in and there's your friendly local bank manager acting like a hairdresser, like, nattering away. You know, you walk up to the till, it's like, oh, how was your holiday? I went camping. Oh, why did you go camping? Because you lost all of my money! Decided the only option I've got is just to not watch TV at all, because everything annoys me. And I've got quite a lot of people that pressure me into doing that as well. Like my dad, he's quite old-fashioned. He's always saying, you don't need to watch television. You should do other things, better things, more edifying things. Don't watch TV, Jack. You should read. Read the great novels. They're entertaining, they're educational. Even read the Bible. The Bible is engrossing. It's enthralling. The stories of Jesus, they're encapsulating, they're invigorating. I'm like, no, Dad. If I wanted to be entertained by 12 people sat round a table trying to impress some bearded Jewish know-it-all that thinks he's some kind of deity, I will watch The Apprentice.
Thank you very much, Jack Whitehall. OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. That's fitness.
Could have been camel toes. Now, I was in the gym the other day. I was in a locker room, and a 5-year-old boy ran in and jumped into a locker. Now, sometimes you know you're just going to have an incident, right? You could hear him in there giggling, like, and you knew what he was going to do. He was going to jump out and scare his mates, because his mates appeared seconds later, like, where's Stephen gone? Where's Stephen? He was there a minute ago. This is most irregular. Right? And he waited, not for his mates, but for 3 huge naked men. It was fantastic. They were kind of walking past, and this little kid leapt at those men like a cat with rabies. It was incredible, right? Just from nowhere, the noise they made, I've never heard a noise like it. They sounded like a tugboat getting molested. His long-suffering dad is in the showers, obviously heard this and went, that'll be my bloody boy! Ran back, confronted this glowing hell beast and went, Stephen, What have I told you about acting up in public? And this little kid cut his dad down with one very simple sentence. Dad, your willy's moving? You're just there going, oh, the world is a better place.
Thank you very much, Russell. At the end of that round, the points go to Ed and Jack.
Things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Blackpool's nice, isn't it?
Unlike other party leaders I could mention, I am not a slave to the auto cue. Smile, pause, applause.
Would you please welcome the man who's made the Conservatives an electable force again, Gordon Brown!
I'm going to turn my back for 1 minute, and I want whoever stole David Blunkett's dog to put it back.
The delegates were so impressed by Ming Campbell's speech that they gave him a 10-minute standing cremation.
Kiss the baby. No, I'd better not. It might set my tag off.
Well, I must say, on this issue, I'm with Al-Qaeda.
So, for Scottish independence and cheaper parking, vote S, NCP.
In an attempt to be more like Barack Obama, Gordon Brown has sensationally blacked up.
And I do believe we are the only party who are going to do anything about the amount of unemployed dwarves in this country. In fact, I saw one just outside holding a sign that said, "No job, too small."
We're going to open this BNP conference with a prayer, so if you'd all like to turn towards Mecca.
Next round of call, if this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Dane, which category would you like?
I'll take sport, please.
Sport, OK.
Yes.
Your category is sport. The answer is 24. What is the question?
What's my age when it comes to young person's rail cards forever?
That's not the correct answer, but it's a good scheme.
Is it the number of people Jesus could have sat at the Last Supper if he'd used both sides of the table?
Very good point.
Is it, according to Nigel Farage, how many of the Turkish population will be living in Turkey in 2020?
Is it how many English hooligans you need to take down one Russian ultra? Is it, once the initial novelty has worn off, how many times a day does the average person regret buying that cuckoo clock?
Is it the age at which porn films think you're a MILF?
How many dance troupes was I kicked out of for being too edgy?
How many more movies are left in the Fast and Furious franchise?
Is it how many people in France went to work this morning?
Is it after what age is life just an increasingly speedy descent into despair?
Is it when an English person and a European person share an advent calendar, how many chocolates does the English person think they deserve?
Is it, on average, how many hours sleep do you get every night when you're dead?
It sounds nice. It's not that. No, it's not that. No,
This one's about football, isn't it? Is it how many teams are in the Euros?
Yes, it
yes,
is.
please.
Well done.
Things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
I am the little girl from the opening ceremony. This is my real voice.
That gymnast is so supple. If my wife could do that, we'd still be together.
Next, the rhythmic gymnastics. You might want to start beating out your own rhythm at home.
That English track team is awesome!
And it's gold for Ireland!
Well, that'll be low marks for synchronicity, but high marks for execution. Clean shot to the head, backwards off the board, pool full of blood, magnificent.
And it...
Go on, go again, man, go again. Do it.
And there's fuck all for Ireland!
No, I'm not letting you off for the last Ireland joke. You're not getting on again for the rest of the show. You are not doing another one for the rest of the show, all right?
You've just been
Oh, let's look at the clock. It's more interesting than the show jumping.
The one thing we're all thinking during the Olympics, doesn't Claire Balding look like Eddie Izzard?
Nobody can touch this Russian gymnast except their coach and their uncle.
And here comes...
Hugh Dennis.
Well, what a morning. We've got medals in the Yingling, Tiddly and Po.
Chinese athlete with number 36 in his chest. That means he's a chicken chow mein.
And here...
And the French have 4 faults. Their language, their food, their underarm hair, and the fact that they are French.
A surprise in the canoeing, where the British athlete has gone missing.
It was after I heard the buzzer that I realised there was one thing I hadn't heard at the Olympics, right, was fuck it.
The end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Greg. The Rama, Hugh and Miles. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely greeting cards.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Sorry you're dead. What can you do?
Sorry you're leaving, and sorry to break it to you in such a cowardly fashion.
Happy Father's Day, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Roses are red, violets are red, the greenhouse is red. I think I'm bleeding to death.
At this difficult time, I'm thinking of you, wearing suspenders and a mask.
I saw this and thought of you. Blank inside.
My feelings can't be put into words, although the judge did describe them as inappropriate.
That was a scrape. Congratulations on your circumcision.
Congratulations, you did it. And we'll prove it. The Crown Prosecution Service.
It's a girl, not a woman, which is why you're going to prison.
With deepest sympathies for the loss of your grandmother. / happy housewarming.
You've passed away.
21 years, and this time you'll probably die in prison.
To our darling son, on your 21st birthday, now get the fuck out of our house.
Please help me. I'm trapped inside a North Korean card factory. Also, Iron Man says happy 4th birthday.
Roses are red, violets are blue. When you go down on me, please don't chew.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a science documentary.
The dinosaurs were wiped out by a giant asteroid. Silly them for all standing in the same place.
Does it burn anything other than Bunsen?
He named the star after himself, and now we find ourselves looking at Arthur Cockmonster III.
So, it glows in the dark and it has a half-life of 1,000 years. Frankly, I've never done a poo like it.
On today's show, we'll be talking about the Jurassic period, where only dinosaurs and Bruce Forsyth roam the earth. He's old, isn't he?
For Sarah Palin, it's conclusive proof that man and dinosaur existed together. For everybody else, the Flintstones is just a cartoon.
Next, biology. Why is that gorilla so sexy?
Let the proton see the electron.
Scientists in Loughborough found the formula to make the perfect cup of tea, which is quite controversial as the grant was for AIDS research.
You've been watching me, Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless.
See, and the problem with cocaine is it's well Moorish.
Well, we could ask a proper scientist about this, or we could ask Dara O'Brien.
Hello, my name's Dara O'Brien. And to try and bring science to the masses, I'm going to appear in a programme with Stephen Hawking wearing a ridiculous hat.
Just enough with the, you know... I love that hat, by the way.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. And I've got a massive head and a massive brain. But all I get to do in this bit is just press a little button.
Mr. O'Brien, I award you a PhD. Phenomenal head, Dara.
I would just like to say that I think Dara O'Brien's a legend.
I work with Dara O'Brien. And today, my experiment is to turn this joke into a P45.
OK, well done, Dean McMahon. Points go to Rory, you and Miles.
Let's spin the wheel. The subject is national identity. Who wants to come forward? Russell.
Thank you. We're told to worry about national identity all the time. Like, Gordon Brown seems to be obsessed with British values. Have you noticed that? It's kind of preaching British values. What are British values? Ultimately, we're all embarrassed and we laugh at stuff we shouldn't. That's pretty much it, isn't it? It's like forbidden giggle. You know when you're not allowed to laugh, but all you can think about doing is laughing. It's like when you see an old lady get hit by a frisbee. You know it's wrong. You know? The last time I saw that flag, it was a football game. England were playing Croatia, right? In Croatia, there was a bloke holding up the flag, right? Into which he'd sewn the words, "Go home, asylum seekers!" And you're like, how middle class a hooligan are you? You're into bigotry and embroidery.
Good man, well done, Russell. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is transport. Who wants to come in on that? Rod.
May I? See, I don't know about you, the viewing public and the audience here in the studio, but I'm pretty paranoid on trains, are you? No, you're not as paranoid as I am. I just get paranoid. They make you paranoid, I think. It's all these announcements and signs. You know, if you see anything unusual, report it immediately. I was on a train last Wednesday and saw a Hare Krishna eating a bounty. I reported it and they blew him up in a controlled explosion.
Well done, Rod Gilbert.
Thank you very much.
OK, that leaves us with Andy and Frankie. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is health.
Wow.
Yeah, that says health to me.
There was a health report recently on Scotland that said that Scotland is the worst small country in Europe. And we were quite disappointed because we thought we were the worst small country in the world. Glasgow's chief health officer said that he was slightly surprised by the findings, which caused him to have a massive heart attack. Scotland does, though, have the best mental health record in Europe. And I think that's because in Scotland, you really have to go an extra bit to be judged mental. Sorry, son, we didn't realise you were a schizophrenic. We just thought you were a bit of a character.
Thank you, Brian. OK, let's see what's left for Andy. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is drinking.
Now, according to police, right, apparently in nightclubs, 1 in 20 drinks are spiked. Now, I was thinking this could give you a little excuse not to go into work the next day. Phone up work, I can't come in, my drink was spiked. How do you know? Well, I had 20 of them. One of them must have been. Of course, if you go and see your doctor now, they give you a little test, don't they? My doctor, he said to me the other day, he said, how many units of alcohol have you had this week? I said, 21. He said, that's not bad, the maximum's 28. I was thinking it was bloody lucky I saw him on the Monday.
At the end of that round, I'm giving the points to Andy and Russell. Come on back.
Nits.
It's nits. It's super nits.
Yeah. I'll tell you why they've got too many nits. Is because they're all sharing the same hat to decide which house they're in.
I feel bad about not knowing this, except it is from a children's book.
Oh, it's about 40 pages into book 1. Knock yourself out. I'm not going deep on Order of the Phoenix here.
Whereas something like Robot Wars is really adult, isn't it?
Sorry, no, nits. What's the right one?
Apparently they're quite resistant to you know, the shampoos that used to kill them in our day.
Back in the day.
Although I don't think even you had to worry.
I had lovely lustrous hair.
walking around like a housing estate for the nits. So I
Now
just
you're
need
walking
to...
around like a country estate.
Too many burns coming across me. I'm getting singed.
I think people need to adjust their thinking when it comes to nits and just don't think of them as something you need to kill. Think of them as like pets. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, if a kid comes home from school with the guinea pig, you don't go, ah, kill it! Oh, it's resistant to this particular tennis racket. No. You go, oh, look, guinea pigs. You think of it the same thing with nits. You go, no, this is, look, it's great. No, that's not an infestation. That's a flea circus.
Yeah, but the difference is the guinea pig is in a tank. It's not hiding up your arse. Like, the nits are a parasite. They're actually on your system. You can't go, oh, we're having a little fun thing here.
And then it makes you scratch, makes you look thoughtful.
I wasn't allowed pets. I would have loved it when I was little. The best I could do was I got a fly, right, dunked it in some water, ripped out one of my hairs, tied it to the fly. When it dried out, I had a fly on a lead. That was my pet.
And she went to a grammar school.
At the end of that round, the points go to Romajet and Ivo. Bad things to say at a job interview.
What can I bring to the job? A burning hatred of the West, a hook for a hand and a pilot's licence.
The 5-year employment gap, yeah. I was canoeing.
Right, I hope we can all be professional about the fact that I've just split up with all three of you.
I'm really only here because I'm hoping to slip on a wet floor and then fall off a ladder.
Yes, I've had a few changes of address, Wormwood Scrubs, Broadmoor, but for the last 3 months I've lived in your air conditioning.
I'm really into diversity. In my last team, I made sure that we had a black, a fruit and a fatty.
I have always wanted to work in a motel.
I'm telling them, Mother, I'm telling them.
This job would be a great opportunity for me to steal a shitload of stationery.
Hey, I remember you from the dungeon. How you doing? It's me, Gimpy Terry.
I'm Gimpy Terry's mate.
Sum myself up in 3 words. Well, I suppose it would have to be killer alien vagina.
What do you mean I'm underqualified to be a plumber? I'm 5 hours late. I've done a piss in your sink.
When can I start? Yesterday, but I can only work till today.
9 till 5, 9 till 5. My medication wears off at 3.
Okay, that leaves us with Tom. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see what your topic is. The topic is exercise.
Also a picture of me. I'm not very good at exercise. I joined the gym. I joined Virgin Active because there wasn't a Virgin Passive. And I found the whole process very intimidating. Like, when you go in there, you're confronted with all the cardio area, like the cardio area. They call it cardio because that's where you go to have a heart attack. And then at the other end, they have what they call the free weights section, the free weights, which I have no business being in because it's for the bigger boys. The bigger boys go there all day. They're lifting things all day, trying to get big arms, trying to turn their arms into legs. And I think think it all really started at school. Like, I didn't like doing PE at school. What would happen is, after assembly, one class would have to stay behind in the hall because they'd be doing gym. And I never found out who Jim was. The worst bit was if you had to use the apparatus! And the apparatus basically was this huge, terrifying cage which had to be buckled to the wall. It was so terrifying. And older children would have to come in who'd been trained by the army. And they'd come in and they'd untether its bonds, and they'd pull a lever and it would lurch out and it would swing out, and these huge, terrifying arms have to be buckled to the floor, otherwise it would just swing out and kill everybody. They had all these bars and ropes and chains. It was very much like a weekend I recently spent in Berlin.
Thank you very much. Let's get right round. Boys, give it a come on. Come on. What honour was the actor Nicolas Cage given this year?
Oh, Nicolas Cage, right? He's actually going to be able to turn the Christmas lights on in Bath.
This, by the way, aren't the lights in Bath. This is...
Apparently, what happened was...
Those are the lights in Dundee.
Somebody actually put a note through his door. He's got a house in Bath, and he's agreed to turn on the lights. I put a note through Cheryl Cole's door, and apparently that's a matter for the police.
Do you know what's really weird about this story?
Not only is it incredible that they've got Nicolas Cage to do it, but also there must have been an incredibly uneasy phone call to Barry Chuckle. Yeah, sorry, Barry, Nicolas Cage is doing it.
Well,
maybe they gave him a part in an action movie where he knocks out Vin Diesel by turning round quickly with a plank.
Do you know what's really awkward about this story? This is genuinely true. Until last week, I was doing it.
Really?
I was there. Yeah. And then from nowhere, Cage has just jumped. It's funny, all my relatives like, do you want us to sort him out? No, I don't want you to sort him out. Because we'll go around there and mess him up. Don't mess him up.
Because you were originally up for the part in Face Off as well, weren't you?
And what's really funny about it is the lady that posted the letter through the door is the exact lady that went, oh, we'd love you to do it. You'd be great. And then I read in the paper, without even telling me, the big Nicholas... You bitch!
About 10 years ago, I switched on the Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Wow!
And because I've been rude.
Could be there are Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Yeah, no. Were you asked to do this?
Yeah, because we've been
He's been there again! We hit Bruce Willis!
We've been rude about Kidderminster on television. Got a letter from the Kidderminster Tourist Board or whatever saying, would you come and switch on the Christmas lights? So you think, oh, that'd be great, I'd love to do that. But you don't actually do it. Because what they do is they give you one of those enormous pretend switches, right? And you have to kind of go like this on a balcony to a crowd below, and you kind of go, oh, we're going to press the thing now. And you press it, and as you press it, a bloke in a room behind turns on a switch. So you're not doing it.
So hang on a minute, so that bloke's going to be me. I'm going to be the
Yeah.
So you were asked to do it because you were rude about Kidderminster?
Because I was rude about Kidderminster. I also did a joke once about Wolverhampton and got invited on a tour of Wolverhampton.
I'm thinking bigger than that. If I slag off Jessica Alba, do I get a tour of Jessica Alba?
Well, apparently Bristol wanted to have Bruce Willis switching on their lights, but then they remembered that he tends to get into a lot of trouble around Christmas time.
There are crisis negotiations taking place between the IMF and, well, the troika of different bodies who've lent money to them and to the Greeks, and I think the Greeks will win the negotiation. And I'm willing to go on the line for this, because with only some time to go during the negotiation, with the Greeks going, please, give us a bail us out, bail us out, bail us out, all they need to do, they've got one card that the Greeks can play, which is they can play that music, which means you will eventually, because it just starts like it's just quietly in the background, just slowly give us some money. No. Give us some money. No. Give us some money. No. And then over time, slowly the pressure builds on this music until eventually it's like Give us some money. No. Give us some money. No. Give us some money. No. And eventually, I believe it gets us faster and faster until, you know... Give us the money. 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 Go and then go. Have the cash. Take the cash and go. Leave me alone. It's just fine. Really, I just wanted you to spend the rest of the evening going... Ding, 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 ding.
Could you hear that as well? I was worried there for a second.
Can we play the music again?
Oh, I love the music. Yeah, too. One more time. The middle bit.
Just the show started.
Oh my God, this is so fun. Well, they go faster than us. They go too fast.
Table take out combined weight.
Flip the table over. We'll try. We can flip it. I'm sure the people of Greece will be absolutely delighted.
We don't need it, do we? Like, it's this constant thing of, like, making things that nobody has been on the phone to someone and go, do you know what would make this so much easier to understand what you're on about? If I could smell you. I've actually just started pretending I'm Costa Rican. I will switch to whatever I need to, you know. In the cricket, I'm very Sri Lankan at the moment. During the Ashes, I pretended I was Aborigine. Like, I don't care. I will go wherever the results take me. He's basically made it fun for the Tories, because they could say anything they want. He's unelectable, so you can do whatever the hell you want, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to kill everyone. Yeah, but I'd rather that than vote Ed Miliband. There continues to be heavy shelling here. Ramesh Ranganathan at the peanut factory. Is it what the minimum prison sentence should be for anybody that takes their shirt off in the summer? I find it unacceptable. I remember, like, when it used to be hot days, my dad would open up the curtains first thing in the morning and say, the white people are going to get naked today. Just this morning, we confiscated a bag of cannabis, and now we're asking all students to come forward if they've got Pringles. Have you had an accident that wasn't your fault and has ruined your life? Next time, use Durex. I don't understand that, because, like, if the cows farting is causing the problem, then surely eating them is the solution. I mean...
The topic is animals.
I'm into animal rights, actually. I recently watched this film, Blackfish, which is about this killer whale that ate two of the trainers at SeaWorld, killed two of the members of staff at SeaWorld. And it's an interesting film, but I do have some issues with it. You know, one of the things they say in the film is we call them orcas. Some people call them killer whales, but these are beautiful, beautiful orcas. We call them orcas. This one killed two people. Right? That's a killer whale, right? He lost the right to be called orca when he slaughtered two people, yeah? And people are surprised by what happened. People are surprised by what happened. They say, oh, my God, I can't believe what's happened at SeaWorld. I can't believe that one of the killer whales tried to eat one of the trainers. Listen, that's not a surprise. I'm a vegan, right? If you make me dance with a sausage on my nose for long enough, eventually I will try the bloody sausage, right? I don't think that's a surprise. And the film is presenting obvious stuff. I was talking to an intelligent person about Blackfish. He said to me, I can't believe what's going on at SeaWorld. It's disgusting. I can't believe they kidnapped them from the wild. How else did you think that they got them? Did you think there was some sort of recruitment drive? And the thing is, you know, is they want to set this whale free. They want to set Tilikum free because he killed two people. Because he killed two people, they want to set him free. I mean, that's the opposite of crime and punishment, isn't it? I mean, people say because he lives in such horrible conditions. Listen, people live in horrible conditions. We don't let them off for doing stuff. You don't say, oh, Derek here killed 6 people. We can't do anything about it because he lives in Hastings.
Thank you very much, Robert. I'm going to give the point to Angela Barnes there. Everyone come back. Thank you very much.
Well, as a vegan, I wanted to supplement my son's education, so I'm helping him to learn to read. That's one of the things that I'm doing, and helping your child to read is one of the most magical and rewarding things that you can do as a parent, on day one. After that, it's one of the most frustrating, annoying, I'd rather punch myself in the face repeatedly than ever do this again activity that you can ever do. And let me tell you why. They do not care about making sense. Right? They'll just read all the easy words. When they get to one they don't know, instead of trying, they'll just look at the picture and just throw something random into the sentence without any regard for what effect that has on what they're saying. And I'm supposed to not get angry. I'm supposed to not get angry when my son goes, Jack went strawberry? How could that be what it said? How could it be Jack went strawberry? What are you talking about? What would that even look like? How could that be what it said? Tell me. I tell you what, you think that's what it said, you go strawberry now. Go on. Go strawberry. That's what you think it said. Stop crying, go strawberry. Go strawberry. Why don't you do it? Go kiwi then, I don't give a shit. You're not doing it, are you? I'll tell you why not, because it doesn't make any bloody sense. My wife thinks I'm overreacting.
Thank you very much, John.
I do think it is a weird strategy, because what you're saying is we're going to make it OK for you to park by a broken meter. So, you know, a solution seems to be fix the meters. Do you know what I mean? Rather than make it OK to park next to broken ones. It's like saying, well, you know, all the trains are late and we know they never arrive, you know, when they're supposed to. So what we decided to do to tackle the problem, we've decided to abandon the concept of time. So nobody's ever going to be late for anything. We plan to replace the glass ceiling for women with something much easier to clean.
We was in Birmingham the other week doing a gig and you had cream on top of your goulash.
No, listen.
Hey.
Hang on, why are you eating goulash? Goulash is... it's meat in goulash.
I'm not that much of an idiot. It was vegetable goulash. Can I have a beef goulash, but hold the beef? Rob and I had an argument, a discussion about the fact that I thought it had combined so much with the goulash that it rendered the situation untenable. But Rob said, "You could have scooped that out, mate. I don't know what's wrong with you." It's not scooped. He's not vegan. He's eating cream over here. I haven't even heard of it in Lewisham.
Oh, we're such great mates.
What do you think you got to the point where, like, you know, Nick Clegg finally thinks he's stepping up to the plate, like Cameron's on the phone? Listen, my phone reception is a nightmare. We've got an important situation. Nick, I need you to step up. I need you to do the right thing. Can you get in touch with Vodafone and get this sorted out? Russell Crowe stars as Bob Marley. The accent's so offensive you won't even care that he blacked up. As I report from my 6th day here in war-torn Syria, I think the lesson learned is that I should never have called my producer a wanker. A UKIP film presentation, 101 damn Asians. Newark is actually an anagram of Nigel Farage's nickname.
What? Cron? I love the way that they clapped at different times, just depending on how quickly they got it.
There is an element of chase going on there.
Come on. Well, I'm really sad to be leaving you as your maths teacher. I've got no idea why I've been made redundant, because I've always felt that I've given 110%. I think, you know, actually we should be talking about immigration now, because it's a good thing that he's put it on the table, because, you know, a lot of Europeans are coming into the country and taking jobs that my parents worked so hard to steal in the 70s. It's actually a very exciting game they play, where they just sit there for hours and see which one tries to rehydrate themselves first. Because... I mean, again, speaking as a vegan, but my problem with it is... Are you a vegan? Listen, get on board, all right? Jesus. You guys disgust me. Yes. You cheese and meat-eating pricks.
Anyway, please, every part of the show, preface every topic we do with, as a vegan.
My point is, Dara, if I may...
Pizza!
Mate, I'll tell you what, pizza, nightmare, right?
You've missed the main ingredient.
I love pizza, ordered a pizza, right, with no cheese, right? No cheese.
Yeah.
What I didn't realise is not only does cheese add flavour, it also has an adhesive quality. What I got was a box of bread with some vegetables in the corner of the box. The public have spoken, and they said that I'm a knob.
We're not interested, we're not engaged. I think they should combine the election of a leader of the European Commission with the Eurovision Song Contest. So,
How is combining two things that we're not interested in going to make it more interesting? The issue that I have is that, you know, UKIP sort of attracting votes from sort of the elderly. You know, that this is sort of who are increasingly supporting them. And the thing is that you get worried because you think, well, I've sort of had more racist experiences from elderly people, and you can sort of understand how this comes about. But I actually think that elderly people should just be allowed to be racist because, like, they've got enough shit going on in their lives, like, without having to re-educate themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've pissed myself, I've got 2 false hips, and now I can't say darky. Like, it's... I'm quite happy to make him feel comfortable, bump into an elderly person, just give him the old wobble head to make him feel all right. I don't like going out. Don't like going out because I don't look as good as I used to, and I worry about it. I've put on weight, and I think, oh, I don't look all right. And then I think, hold on a minute, I'm married. I don't need to look good. I just need to look better than the prospect of single parenting. And I think I've got that in the tank, you know what I mean? I went out a while ago, and I was out with my friends. We're all in our 30s. We look like awful tribute acts of us in our 20s, and... There's guys there that are in their 20s looking ripped and amazing, and I'm thinking, are they going to make us feel bad? Are they going to make us feel awkward? Are they going to make us feel like we're stepping on their turf? And the truth is, they ignore us. Of course they do. Why would they care? See a pride of lions hunting gazelle, they're not going to give a shit when a 3-legged hyena rocks up, are they? Comes to the end of the night, this absolutely gorgeous girl walks up to me, does not break eye contact for a second. I said, hello, this is happening. Can phone my wife, tell her I've still got it. The girl walks up to me, says to me, no word of a lie, taxi for Rachel.
Thank you very much, Robert. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is bad things to hear from a tour guide.
Please don't take photos of the natives because they believe that you're taking part of their soul. Apart from that, enjoy Norwich.
Hello, my name's Janet. I'm your holiday rep, and basically, I'll be giving out morning after pills like they were Smarties.
Good morning. I'm afraid this is the loudest.
Venice is a most historical city, famous for its... Oh, shit, it's flooded. Everyone get back on the bus.
A lot of you will be wondering why there are so many wonderful foreign treasures on display here at the British Museum. And the answer is quite simple, really. Gun beats spear.
Don't worry, this castle does cater for the disabled. They bring you a sandwich while the rest of us go up the steps to look at it.
Let's have a little song, shall we?
Coming
Coming up later on, we've got the topless donkey derby and who's got the funniest willy competition. Yes, it's going to be the best saga holiday you've ever had.
I know that a lot of you can't bear to leave Thailand, which is why I've hidden drugs randomly in your luggage.
And as we enter the next room, I need you all to be very quiet because we have technically broken in.
If you need anything at all, I'll be under your bed.
And if you look out of the window on your left, you'll see the side of the road that we should be driving on.
Of course, you have to respect local customs. On the right-hand side, you'll see a woman being burnt at the stake, and on the left, Dundee Town Hall.
Well, this is the deepest, darkest bit of the caves. And unless you give me £20 each, it's where you're staying.
And according to Wikipedia, the East Wing was built in the year Dougie is a homo.
We're now leaving the green zone. Pop on your flak jackets. This is the real Baghdad.
An adult and 2 children is £10. But enough about my trip to Cambodia.
Our next topic is unlikely things to hear on a breakfast show.
If the woman I picked up last night is watching, help yourself to cereal, but get out of the flat by the time I get home.
And now it's time for Thought for the Day. That was a good one.
You're listening to Six Music. Yes, you. Just you.
Welcome to Travel Report. We've got a text here from Dave on the M5 who says, ha ha ha, every morning you leave for work, I pop round and shag your wife.
So if you're trying to get in via Junction 2, stop it. It's against nature, and the Bible says no.
Next, we speak to Fern Britton about having her stomach stapled, this time to an enormous chocolate cake.
In other traffic news, if you're on the M11 headed towards Middlesbrough, I would turn around because it's a shithole.
Hello, I'm doing a survey into the effects of replacing milk on your Weetabix with Red Bull!
And we can see there's been an accident northbound on the M1, and it is a beauty.
Welcome to Radio Tourette's, you shit monkeys.
You may think of it as a breakfast show. I had mine at 4:30.
Later, Vanessa Feltz will be joining me on the settee, and I'll be bouncing through the fucking ceiling.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Jack. Who could we soon be seeing on the back of a £5 note?
Is it the Queen?
OK, depends which way you turn the note. You're absolutely right, but I think let's define that as being the front of the note, right? Who's on the other side of the note to the Queen?
Unlike the earlier question, I hope the answer isn't Hitler this time.
It's, at the moment, it's someone called Elizabeth Fry, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Who is, I think, Stephen's mother or the person who invented Turkish Delight.
Churchill is going to be on it, and there's been a bit of controversy because he's knocking off a lady, Elizabeth Fry. And if he wants
Hang on, from the note rather than getting her.
That'd be a hell of a note, though, wouldn't it? Churchill knocking off Elizabeth.
You fold it a certain way, they start doing it.
This is the proposed £5 note with Church's face on it. Yeah, mind you, critics of their being saying, well, that means there'd be no women on the note, have been assuaged by a move to the...
No, but I think they should have a feminist icon on it, not least because it means it'd be very uncomfortable for men to go to strip joints. I just like the idea of them having to put Emmeline Pankhurst in a woman's G-string.
I just got to say, and I'm not a huge expert on them, but if you're putting fivers into a G-string, you're at, like, the most low-rent strip joint. It really is. Like, they're gonna love you when you go, one of these, maybe? Here's a whole £5 for you. I have some change. How much do I get for £4.20?
Did you say they have to have a woman on the £5 note? Because if they put one on the next one up, she'd become known as the tenner lady.
If you were governor of the Bank of England and it was your choice who goes on the notes, wouldn't you have a bit more fun than that when you go fiver? That's me and Menorca. Tenner, that's me meeting Kofi Annan. 20, naked lady. How did that get in there? 50, me and Jeff Boycott.
That may list off some of the other prototypes that are included for the month, because this is an ongoing debate because they change them all the time.
Yeah.
For the fiver, the initial plan was to have this. And then the value rises steadily. For the tenner, obviously, we have this. Particularly jaunty face for 20 quid. That actually works. That actually shockingly does. That really means something.
That would stop you spending that. That's
There's no way
you go,
put that
no.
No, I have to keep that because she won't.
Put that back in your pocket.
Obviously, there are issues of nationhood and nationality. So this is the €50 note, which was the original. But actually,
You look a bit like Gorbachev with that fine on it.
very good. Lines you wouldn't hear in a war film.
We've managed to crack the Germans' code. Turns out they were sending messages in German.
Why are we speaking English?
I'm afraid we can't afford goggles. So what we're going to have to do, we're all going to have to go like this.
Terribly sorry, Sergeant. It's just that when you said let's all band together and take Jerry from behind...
OK, chaps, here's the strategy for escaping from the prisoner of war camp. We sit it out till the end of the war.
I'm saving Private Ryan. Money on his car insurance.
Is anyone else embarrassed that we've all turned up in the same outfit?
There's only one way to settle this war, through the medium of dance.
Don't worry, Tommy. I'll make sure she gets it. It's chlamydia, isn't it?
You've each been selected for this mission because you're unknown to the enemy and you each have a special skill. Professor Hawking, John Leslie, Phil Neville, the Wu-Tang Clan, Usher, the Sugar Puffs Monster, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Welcome to Operation Mindfuck.
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a news programme.
And the markets are as followed. £3 a loose banana there, £3 a juicy straw. Well, he went in half an hour ago and he still hasn't come out, so I can only assume he's having a very big poo.
sad news now. Wally has been found. His funeral's next week. No one knows where, but that's what he would have wanted.
As I stand here in this village where the water is ridden with disease and human faeces, we have to ask ourselves one question. Why did I choose to wear flip-flops?
Sorry, I just wanted to check something. I'm standing just a stone's throw from where the meeting is taking place.
With thousands dead, there looks like no end to the bloodshed. I've been Holly Walsh for the BBC, reporting from Midsummer.
Welcome to Fox News. The bastards have been through the bins again and shit on the drive.
And the Italian wing of Heinz Soup has been put into administroni.
I'm on the scene where the search continues for the beloved pantomime star. What's that? He's where?
The fighting here has been drawn out and bloody, but I have finally got my microphone back from that bastard at Sky News. We cross live now to the King's Road, where Jose Mourinho has no trousers or pants on and is telling the pigeons it's the referee's fault.
And we've got Barry Chuckle on the scene of the crime. Barry, to you.
It's not good news. I've just been talking to the American ambassador and I said to him, surely now Osama bin Laden has gone from terrorist to martyr. He said, we say tomato.
Is there sexism at the BBC? Let's ask Sally Johnson, who's our lovely smiles and pretty cakes correspondent.
This is the first time I have reported from the Pamplona Bull Run. Fucking hell!
Unlikely things to hear on a property show.
6 months in, and Mike has fallen out with the builder. There was no window there, and neither of them noticed.
With violence and strong language from the very beginning, it's a place in the Sunderland.
Yes, it is north-facing, but on the plus side, it's a caravan, so you can just turn it round.
Get that fish out of here, it stinks. You should never leave a place in the sun.
We've just 1 hour while Gina's at the shops to improve her flat in Luton. We're setting it on fire and moving it to Oxford.
Well, it's another setback. This time the structure is damaged. And for the first time, I'm asking myself, will the Death Star ever be finished?
And more information on how to get together a deposit for a house can be found in our free leaflet, When Will Nana Die?
So, you bought it at auction for £100,000, but what exactly are you going to do with Middlesbrough?
Well, what we've done is we've knocked the wall between the kitchen and the lounge down, and what that's done is killed all the people who were sitting in the lounge.
The kitchen's done in a very modern style. We call it crack den.
We're looking at a well-equipped council house in Hull. Fridge, oven, washing machine. In fact, this is one of the nicest gardens we've seen.
This week on Grand Designs, my gran designs a house. It'll be shit. She's got terrible arthritis and not even a rudimentary qualification.
3 coats of varnish and a new rug. and Brucey is ready for his next show.
Welcome to the 74-hour-long obsessive-compulsive episode of How Clean Is Your House?
Knock it down, tarmac it, fuck 'em.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear in a maternity ward.
Mr. Parsons, your baby looks exactly like you. But mind you, so does every other baby.
There are complications, I'm afraid, for a start. I'm not a doctor.
I definitely can see the head. You should do your flies up, Doctor.
Bad news, I'm afraid. He's ginger. Your Highness.
So, would you like to hold the little fella? Or shall I give you the baby?
Mrs. Jones, I'm going to need you to push. And then when we've got the ambulance started, we'll try and get you to hospital.
Oh, God, is that my baby? I've given birth to Andy Parsons.
I'd stay up that end and talk to your wife if I were you, Mr. Smith. It looks like Alien versus Predator down here.
And this is the ward for unwanted twins. We call it the Jed ward.
Basically, you just turn them over and slap them on the arse. These nurses' parties are great.
Nice to see you again, Mrs. Jolie. If you'd like to just move along to the next window to collect your order.
Oh, this isn't your first baby, is it?
You have a bouncing baby boy. I know that because I dropped him in the delivery room.
OK, big breath in, hold it, and pass the joint to the midwife.
If you're not in when we deliver your baby, is it OK if we leave it with a neighbour?
That's good. No, I do like it, darling. Just not in that colour.
I know you're in great pain, but we need to know your name. Right. Doctor for Mrs. Fuckoff.
OK, give it that round. Points go to great. Joe and Andy! Bad ways to start a party political broadcast.
Hello. My fellow paedophiles.
Hang on, I'll be with you in a minute.
Good moment!
As you know, the football is on the other channel.
Well, I'm sorry to say that it is mostly the blacks.
Hello, I'm John Prescott. Now, I expect you're wondering why I'm making...
I think our policies are best expressed in song.
During the next 3.5 hours...
Now, look, we all know we're not going to win. Death to the West.
Let me tell you what the voices in my head are telling me.
OK, our next topic is Things you never hear a French person say.
Of course, it looked hopeless, but we kept fighting.
I'd like a bottle of Burgundy and a Dairy Lee Dunker, please.
You're English. How nice to meet you.
J'aime beaucoup, Monsieur Jeremy Clarkson.
I've just bought a wonderful little holiday home in the south of Birmingham.
My favourite road? Well, that's got to be the A303. At night, in many ways, it's quicker than the M4 and you get to go past Stonehenge. If you're going London to the West Country, it's A303 for me every time. What a road. What a road. And we throw that part of the animal away.
Okay, our next topic is what the voices in Tony Blair's head are saying.
You will obey! You will obey!
Keep smiling, have Gordon killed. Keep smiling, have Gordon killed.
Cherie, will you shut the up?
Oh, look, there's Cherie. That reminds me, I must post a letter.
I like big butts and I cannot laugh.
I wonder what John Prescott looks like in hot pants.
Mustn't get a stiffy.
Damn it, got a stiffy.
Go on, lie. You got away with it last time.
Well done, everyone. All come back and sit down. Unlikely things to hear in a science programme.
1643. The cold air balloon is invented. But it doesn't really take off.
For Einstein, it was easy to choose a DJ name. He would be MC squared.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gillian McKeith, and today I'll be sifting through your poop. Why? Because I was never hugged as a child.
Now on 5, crop circles, myth or bollocks?
Next, to demonstrate chaos theory, we've locked Boris Johnson in a room with an aardvark and some magic mushrooms.
I was the man who discovered DNA. I wasn't going to call it that, but I was giving a lecture to the Royal Society, and I said, gentlemen, I believe I've discovered the genetic fingerprint of all human life. Ta-da!
I've been Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless. Shit!
Thanks to carbon dating, this skeleton is now going out with a short-sighted geology student who likes thin people that don't talk much.
1891. Sir Alexander Graham Benn receives the first wrong number telephone call.
He realised that this equation was going to take him absolutely years. So he switched to a media studies course, which was a piece of piss.
I did have here a pie chart to demonstrate obesity.
Apart from the human, the only animal to enjoy having sex is the dolphin. I had to shag a lot of animals to find that out.
I'm a meerkat, she's not lying. Tonight we'll be discussing molecular science. Our guests are Sir Patrick Moore, Robert Winston and Dappy off of N-Dubs.
With their tiny arms, could the T-Rex self-pleasure? Let's find out in another edition of Wanking with Dinosaurs.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Holly and Andy.
OK, here we go. The first subject is lines that you'd never hear in a Bond film.
Ingenious, Q. It's a bomb, but it's also a rucksack.
Oh, James, what a wonderful present. Chlamydia.
My name is Bond. Mohammed Bond.
Everything's ready for your mission, Bond. All you need to do is fill in this health and safety risk assessment.
Mr. Bond, have you ever kissed a man?
You're very good at poker, but let's see how you do on the fruit machines.
Here's your new car, Bond. A Ford Focus.
I'll have an egg roll, scrambled, not boiled.
Let me get this straight. There's an evil tyrant at the top of a mountain, surrounded totally by armed guards. Do you know, I don't fancy it.
It's not just a baseball bat, Bond. It's a baseball bat with a nail through it.
Oh, James, is it meant to be this soft?
We're getting away. We'll get after them in this pedalo.
We'd better slow down. There are speed cameras.
I hope you're not going to be one of those Russian agents whose name is just a cheap sexual pun, Miss Suck Me Off.
Next topic is TV shows that never made it to air.
The boy whose arms and arse and head fell off.
He robs from the rich and the poor. It's Robin Hoodie.
And now the magic of Britain's parks at night as Bill Oddie presents Gay Watch.
And now on BBC Two, Jack Straw's What Not to Wear.
I'm Wayne Rooney, and welcome to Granny's Do the Filthiest Things.
Welcome to Blind Date with me, Stevie Wonder.
And now BBC One, it's the Senile Dementia Show. Where do you think you are?
This week on Who Do You Think You Are, Prince Harry traces his family tree with some surprising results.
Let's leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Well done to all of you. Points go to Frankie, Hugh and Gina. Unlikely lines from a children's book.
Mr. Stubborn wouldn't leave. He was the elected leader of the Labour Party.
I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow you, Keith Vaz.
As Noddy looked at his new friends, Rampant Rabbit and Linda the Love Egg, he realised he was in a very different kind of toy town.
And all the animals of Buttercup Farm celebrated because Percy Pig was going to the slaughterhouse and they never had to listen to that whiny little bastard again.
And the beautiful woman was cursed to sleep for 100 years. And that's your defence, is it, Mr. Cosby?
She didn't do it. Don't boo her.
I'm Paddington Bear from Peru, said Paddington. And if you show me where the toilet is, I'll poo out this condom of cocaine.
It's the absolutely horrific follow-up to Netflix and Chill. Swallows and Amazons.
And was there a happy ending? Well, the prince did love massage parlours.
I will never tell you my name. You will have to guess my name, said Rumpelstiltskin, really holding up the queue at Starbucks.
From under the bridge came the voice of the troll. Where? Women can't be Ghostbusters, send!
Every day, Jack and Jill have to walk up a hill to fetch just one pail of water. But for just £5 a month...
Oh, it wasn't a giant peach after all, thought James, as he watched the big friendly giant put on his swimming trunks.
He pushed aside the clothes, and there, at the back of the wardrobe, found a magical land of nipple clamps and lube.
There's an Indian in the cupboard. I think he's hiding from UKIP.
Oh, well, come on, I've been in this cupboard for bloody ages.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a quiz show.
You've already used your 50-50 to narrow down the options to A, in, or B, out. Mr. Cameron, are you sure you want to ask the audience?
Well, in that round on sexually transmitted diseases, you passed on 4.
We asked you for things that start with an E. You said, a great night out with the lads.
Welcome to Britain's only quiz about birds of prey. Fingers on buzzards, please.
Here at the Chase, we just want to reiterate that our Chase is not called the Dark Destroyer for any ethnic reasons. Now, please, could you welcome our new chaser, Raj the Head Wobbler Patel.
So the final round on OAP quiz is sudden death. Boom!
Welcome to Eggheads. Well, we couldn't call it smug pricks, could we?
Welcome to Tipping Point, for people who are too thick to follow the chase.
Name, Keith Vaz. I mean, Jim. Occupation, MP. I mean, washing machine salesman.
I'm afraid we're going to have to take your first answer, so let's see if the capital of Azerbaijan is Fuck-Defino.
Is that your final answer? I'll marry someone else then.
Well, at the end of this week's episode of University Challenge, the scores are Durham 170, Exeter 145. But, of course, the real winner is Ivo's dad, Hugh at home, who got 2 questions right and is going to bang on about it for the rest of the bloody week.
Well, we've given the contestants their meth and sent them to Hampton Court. Welcome to the Crystal Maze.
My chosen specialised subject, your wife. Yeah, you heard me.
I've started, so I'll finish.
Well, that was the banker, and he says he thinks you're going to accept this deal because in his box is your wife.
Well, today it's Kelly Brook and Joey Essex versus Stevens, Hawking and Fry. This is fucking pointless.
At the end of that round, the points go to rubbish and Unlikely things to hear in a science programme.
1643. The cold air balloon is invented. But it doesn't really take off.
For Einstein, it was easy to choose a DJ name. He would be MC squared.
Hello, I'm Dr. Gillian McKeith, and today I'll be sifting through your poop. Why? Because I was never hugged as a child.
Now on 5, crop circles, myth or bollocks?
Next, to demonstrate chaos theory, we've locked Boris Johnson in a room with an aardvark and some magic mushrooms.
I was the man who discovered DNA. I wasn't going to call it that, but I was giving a lecture to the Royal Society, and I said, gentlemen, I believe I've discovered the genetic fingerprint of all human life. Ta-da!
I've been Richard Dawkins. Good night and God bless. Shit!
Thanks to carbon dating, this skeleton is now going out with a short-sighted geology student who likes thin people that don't talk much.
1891. Sir Alexander Graham Benn receives the first wrong number telephone call.
He realised that this equation was going to take him absolutely years. So he switched to a media studies course, which was a piece of piss.
Apart from the human, the only animal to enjoy having sex is the dolphin. I had to shag a lot of animals to find that out.
I'm a meerkat, she's not lying.
Tonight we'll be discussing molecular science. Our guests are Sir Patrick Moore, Robert Winston, and Dappy off of N-Dubs.
With their tiny arms, could the T-Rex self-pleasure? Let's find out in another edition of Wanking with Dinosaurs.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Holly and Andy. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a history documentary.
Now, while this may look like an ordinary car park in Leicester, this is actually the final resting place of my hymen.
It's on this very spot in Dallas, overlooking the president's motorcade, that John F. Kennedy is going to die.
And it was here in this field that the fighting started. It was Glastonbury 2015 and some prick nicked my tent.
The Trojans had been fooled by a wooden horse. They would never bet on the Grand National again.
I'm walking on the outside of this castle because of my National Trust lifetime ban.
It's 1856, but it'll be 1903 before the Southern train arrives.
Henry VIII liked his wives to be athletic, and that was her downfall. She wouldn't run, she wouldn't walk. She would simply Anne Boleyn.
And so the king appointed a viceroy as a replacement for his regular Roy.
We talk a lot about Winston Churchill's achievements, but we don't talk nearly enough about that ass!
It's 1066, so that can only mean one thing. I shouldn't have bought my digital watch from a market.
Before dawn, the carts would all come out to collect the bodies. That is until the day that Prince Philip finally handed in his driving licence.
As the door was opened, he uttered the words which would start the Russian Revolution. "Excuse me," he said. "Is Lenin?"
This was a time before Sigourney Weaver, when everyone else had to weave their own Sigourneys.
Incensed that both Henry and Edward had become king, Thomas the Tank Engine plotted revenge.
Of course, we talk a lot about Richard the Lionheart, but we seldom talk about his brother, William the Leopard Scrotum.
And the tyrannical leader took his own life in the bunker. Is what I hope for every time Trump goes golfing.
Isambard Kingdom Brunel died as the most famous, stupidest named person in the world.
Today, we look at one of the key figures of the Ming Dynasty, your mum.
Unlikely things to hear on Doctor Who.
When I was giving you a quote as your cleaner, Doctor, I was giving you a quote from the outside.
No, there isn't going to be a new Doctor. I'm being replaced by a helpline.
That is the last time we park the TARDIS outside the Portaloos at Glastonbury.
Davros, we meet again. Oh, Lord Sugar, I'm so sorry.
Hey, saw you from across the TARDIS, and I think I regenerated in my pants.
Doctor, you must help me. I think I'm a pair of curtains.
Tragic news about the Ood. There's been a terrible flood. They tried to escape into the wood, but it didn't do any good, and now they're all dooed.
No, I'm the doctor who works for the World Health Organization.
Yes, I mainly hang around young women. Yes, I was on television in the 1970s. Where are you going with this?
You've got to believe me, Clara. This is our best chance. Now, unzip my flies and I'll explain later.
Let's go forward in time by an hour. Then we get a quid off the pizza.
Now, the first thing to remember on planet Xenon is turn off data roaming.
We are 10 million years in the future. H.G. Wells has just got married.
You are the doctor. I am the tracheotomy patient.
I am the doctor. I am 1,200 years old. And this is my assistant, who's 27.
Unlikely things to hear on a TV election debate.
The truth.
Labour, ready! Tories, ready! Bring on the wall!
I think of this studio as a second home, which is why I'm claiming expenses for it.
And the lines have closed. Gordon, it could be you. David, it could be you. Nick, it's not going to be you.
We in the Tory party are going to give the north of England a huge boost, and then all the people can come out and lick the chocolate off it.
If you're elected, you'll raise taxes. If your mum's elected, she will.
It's me who got you into this mess, and it's him that will get you out of it.
And at the end of that round, Gordon, you've scored no points.
I'm really very, very proud of my working class roots. When I was growing up, we only had an outside toilet. Eventually, we got enough money to buy a house.
Cheryl, tonight you're going to be mentoring the Lib Dems.
Let me know, Pick. What's your real name?
How will we shorten waiting lists? Simple. By letting the weak die.
Hello! I am the Messiah! And the Queen is a biscuit!
I am almost certain that was a floating voter.
Very good. The end of the round, the points go to Patrick, Hugh and Milton. And the topic is relationships. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
Britain, I have sexual advice for you. That's right. When I was 18, I used food in the bedroom. Now, don't ever do it. It didn't go well, right? Rather than... I used Rolo yoghurt. And rather than tell... Yeah, exactly, right? Rather than tell my then-girlfriend what I had planned, I pretty much waited for her like some hideous yoghurt goblin, right? Now, I doubt there's anything more terrifying than coming home to find me naked, holding yoghurt, going, yeah, right? And I panicked, and rather than putting a little bit on, I pretty much basted her, right? By the time I'd finished, she looked a bit like Morph. You're sat there. I created an angry meal. You don't know where to start licking. You don't want to lick randomly, then she looks like she's got an illness. So, I did foot up to knee. That took me an hour. And hours, I was just... She looked like an angry gingerbread lady who'd had her leg dipped in Tippex, right? It didn't end there. I was like, I can't help you. The door opened, one of my dogs ran in and started licking the other leg. Never use food in the bedroom.
Thank you very much, Russell Howard. So that leaves us with Stuart. Let's have a look at the last topic then. And the topic is family. Stuart.
Before I rock the microphone, I want to I want to dedicate my performance to my father, who was a roofer. So, Dad, if you're up there. I'll tell you about my family. I'm the youngest of three. My parents are both older, and I have mixed-race parents. My father prefers the 100 meters, and my mother's Pakistani. I was raised by my father. My mother left before I was born. And, you know, I like being raised by my father. He's schizophrenic, but he's good people. I remember one summer I was 5 and he was Mussolini. Went to the park that day. I love parks. Standing in the park today wondering, why does a Frisbee appear larger the closer it gets? And then it hit me. My uncle's a hypnotist. who has never inappropriately touched me. I have to leave now. I'm a member of Overactors Anonymous, and we have an Overactors Anonymous meeting that starts in...
Just time now to see what the papers say.
Milton, which category would you like?
Let's have politics.
OK, politics it is. Your category is politics. The answer is over 1 million. What is the question?
Is it how many extra minutes Manchester United get to play if they're not winning?
Look at my big shiny face. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the way my forehead glow follows you around the room.
What you have to remember is that Cameron was in PR. I mean, I was 12 years old when I had a paper round. Apparently, the rumour is that David Cameron wants to make all towns in Britain triple-barrelled, like Kingston-upon-Thames, Berwick-on-Tweed. He wants to call it Leeds-on-Benefit. Well, his eyes are shinier and his hair's sleeker, but it's not necessarily an airbrush. It could be he's eating pedigree chum.
His coat is more glossy. Yeah. Essential minerals are good. So you should see him running through a field and over a wall. It's incredible, man. He's youthful and dynamic.
From the makers of Caca 1. Caca 2. What did his friends call Nostradamus? Now, our next guest, believe it or not, is both a poo and a lice inspector. Sorry, police inspector. Troy, certificate 15. If you're too young, why don't you make a giant wooden adult? Well, we've all been drunk at work, haven't we? I remember when I worked on an oil rig in the Mexican Gulf.
Or unlikely things to hear in a science programme.
1643. The cold air balloon is invented. But it doesn't really take off.
Milton. Let's see what subject. Let's spin the wheel. The subject is family.
One of my earliest memories is seeing my mother's face through the oven window. As we played hide and seek, and she said, "You're getting warmer." My auntie Jean got a sister called Jean. Her daughter Jean just had a baby, called it Jean. They all went to a nightclub to celebrate. They got to the door and the bouncer said, "Sorry." You're all wearing trainers. My grandfather, Jean, always complaining about how much things cost. £1.50 for a cup of tea, £2.25 for 3 custard creams. I said, "Look, Grandad, you just popped round. I didn't invite you." My other grandfather, he was always going on about how in the old days people could leave their back doors open, which is probably why his submarine sank. My other grandfather, when he died, we didn't even get the chance to say goodbye, which was all the more poignant because he drowned in a bowl of Cheerios. I used to own a Toyota years ago, and I remember once I was driving along eating a marshmallow, and all of a sudden my airbag deployed. And in that moment, I thought I'd become really, really small.
Carlsberg don't do liver transplants. But if they did...
You can tell that Beckham thinks something is wrong, because if you look at the picture, he's going, A. There's an A coming out of his mouth. A.
This game involves Milton, Andy and Diane, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. Without kicking the shit out of the set.
Oh, there you go.
Fuck off the face.
Well, that's a minute of the DVD sorted out.
Hey, that moment seemed a bit too hot for TV, yeah.
So, talk me through it again, Mrs. Hopkins. You were having Sunday dinner. You said to your husband, will you carve? And he just lay down on the floor and gave birth to a baby cow.
A word about registers. Most of the staff are on one. Is it the gap between this word... No, it's not. Doing that. Dear Deirdre, I am a control freak. What should I do? I'll tell you what I should do.
Yes, the answer I was looking for was Fox scandal rocks Conservatives. This is the news that Defence Secretary Liam Fox has been forced to explain his conduct following allegations that his working relationship with best friend and former flatmate Adam Werrity broke the ministerial code.
Wouldn't it be great if all of this had come to light because someone would be going through Fox's bins? All he's done is take a friend to work, and that's not actually a crime, is it, Mr. Truffles? What's that? Do you want to say hello to the boys and girls? No, I'm depressed.
Do you know why...
I met my wife on the net. We were both rubbish trapeze artists. Terrible, isn't it, when someone doesn't want to live with you anymore? Part of you is thinking, I don't think you're going to survive in the real world. Another part of you is thinking, well, at least I'll be rid of your drunken arguing. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to let the Scottish people go. Any Scottish people here? You can go. A girl came up to me the other day, started going, foot loose, then her foot fell off. I tried to impress a girl once by putting my foot down on the pedal. Turns out she'd seen a bin open like that before. A girl came up to me once, she said, you know, I can tell someone's personality by what kind of car they drive. I said, I haven't got one. So lads, do you ever get given a job to do and you deliberately do it really, really badly so you never get given that job again? I mean, I hardly know CPR anyway. My wife's giving me the silent treatment at the moment, lying there day after day, beginning to smell a bit now. What Cameron should do is get a great big black hat and the sleep mask he got on the plane, and he stand up in front of the G20 and said, I will lead you out of economic austerity, for I am... borrow. When I found out my bank were fixing the loan rate, I went down there every single day and shouted at them, but then I consolidated all my anger into one monthly outburst.
Things you wouldn't hear on a political discussion show.
Sorry, did I interrupt you? Is it if you saw Pythagoras in concert, name one of the old numbers he might try and do? Is it...
Transport is the topic.
So I've got my own private jet. The rest of the jacuzzi belongs to my mum. if you've got a sat-nav, don't put the name of the company you're visiting into it. I tried to take some mayonnaise back the other day. I ended up in Helmand Province. I mean, I've got a car, but there's nothing I like better than making a bonfire on the passenger seat. Driving up and down, opening and shutting the electric sunroof and pretending to be a steam train. My uncle, he was a taxi driver, but then one day he left home without any indication. So recently, I was fell walking in the Lake District. Well, it's not quite true. Recently, I fell walking in the Lake District. I was going to tell someone, but the pillar box was full of sugar puffs. The worst job I ever had was forensic pathologist for the United Nations. And I remember uncovering the mass grave of 1,000 snowmen. Fortunately, it turned out to be a field full of carrots.
What's great about it? But it's like Milton, every so often, it's like this hilarious grandad that just wakes up.
Health officials have shut down the village fete. Apparently, there was an outbreak of tombola. Now it's over to our toys and games correspondent, Natasha Kaplunksky.
In other news, what has Prince Charles said is the largest challenge facing the world today?
Is it narrow doorways and you get your ears caught? Look, an ancient African city from the makers of Timbuk 1. How about giving 3-year-olds the vote and still having one ballot box, but 4 different shapes that they have to put through? It looks like a runner bean, only smaller. From the makers of Mange 1. What I didn't understand about the Scottish election thing was, if the Scottish didn't want to be part of Great Britain, where were they going to live? I think people quite like Nigel Farage, because he's a bit of a colourful character, which is ironic.
And the topic is family.
My uncle, he was a cruel man. He knew we lived in a bungalow, yet every year for Christmas we always got a slinky. It's a miracle my sister's getting married. I went to the printers to get the invites done. He said, well, what typeface? I went... She seems to like him. My grandfather, during the war, he broke the Enigma code machine. Then he went AWOL. Well, it's not quite true. Then he became an owl. My grandmother, she's been talking about downsizing, and now she's in a little urn. My other grandmother, she was a children's writer. You may have seen her book, Jack Goes Strawberry. I haven't always been popular with my family as a vegan. That doesn't normally work. Recently, my family all clubbed together and got me a voucher for a clinic in Switzerland. Thank you. It's not nice, though, to have another culture imposed on you at school. I remember when I was rushed to hospital with 80% Chinese burns. Welsh are getting stroppy, actually. I was in Cardiff in Waterstones recently. I asked for Pride and Prejudice, and the bloke said, I'm proud to be Welsh and I hate the English.
OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear at a school assembly.
OK, today we're going to have a special outing. So, Miss Williams, if you'd like to tell everybody why you're a lesbian.
We welcome a new member of staff today. He has no arms and no legs and no body, and we will call him the Head.
Would whoever's milkshake is bringing all the boys to the yard, please stop it?
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, boys and girls. I've just had a shit the size of a baby seal.
If you are found in possession of cocaine, you will be given 100 lines. No, wait.
And today in the after-school club, we're going to be using paper mache to make a mother that actually loves you enough to pick you up at 3 o'clock.
I'm delighted to say that during the summer holidays, Mr. Wang married Miss Kerr. His nickname will remain the same.
A wise man once said, boys and girls, that if you try your hardest, you can fulfil your dreams. Generally, that's true. Not for you, though, Tom. You can't read. So...
And today, everyone, we have a new boy. Now, for some reason, whatever reason, he's been to a lot of schools, so be kind to him. Will you please make your way to the front? Richard Pooh Willie.
A word about registers. Most of the staff are on one.
So that is how you put on a condom. But, sir, shouldn't you have used a cucumber? Not with that E. coli kicking around.
Sorry I'm late. I just had a bit of a run-in with an interactive whiteboard. It told me to fuck off.
I've had all your mums.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on a TV talent show.
Tonight, I'm going to be climbing a step ladder.
You're right. I can't sing. Thanks.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a friend of mine who was run over last week and is in hospital. The wheels of the bus go round and round, round and round.
I've got an ability that no one on this planet has. That's Ant, that's Dec.
It was like Elvis was in the building. You're fat and there's a stench of death.
Well, Peter, it's not what everyone would call entertainment, but you are one hell of an assassin.
I thought you hit the high notes really, really well. Be interesting to see if you can still do that when I haven't got your nuts in a clamp.
Hello. Where's my double act partner? Oh, he's in here. Feeling nothing more than feeling. Trying to
When you said you were going to ride a donkey...
Yes, I have been on the show before. I was once trapped in somebody else's underpants, going, feeling.
That was an exceptional performance, and the way that you have overcome your blindness is truly inspirational. But this is a chip shop, the X Factor audition.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think you're all terrible, OK? All of you, you're completely dreadful. I don't know what you're doing. Especially you, Hasselhoff. What have you done since Baywatch?
And as well as that, I can unzip the top of my head. It's where I keep my pyjamas.
I know you said you were a Gary Glitter tribute act, but we weren't expecting you to do that.
Unlikely things to hear on a history documentary.
The Russians had Lemsip. The Americans had nightmares. This was the Cold War.
And it was in this humble forests that the War of the Roses began.
Guy Fawkes' bid to blow up the Houses of Parliament failed when he realised his body was made of jumpers and his head was an old football.
Tonight on Bruce Forsyth's History of Britain, Boadicea, Decea Bode!
Horatio Nelson, one arm, one eye. A tragic example of what can happen if you fall asleep and someone finds your organ donor card.
Welcome to Biggest Historical Boobs with me, Katie Price.
Tonight, I intend to find out exactly what did happen to Hitler's other ball. And my search begins right here in the Albert Hall.
And on Time Team tonight, we're in Stratford-on-Avon, where we've uncovered loads of monkey skeletons and some typewriters.
When Hitler started writing Mein Kampf, he intended it to be a light-hearted romp called Carry On Camping.
John F. Kennedy, Indira Gandhi, John Lennon. If history teaches us anything, it's that if you don't want your child assassinated, don't name them after an airport.
To be honest, I'm not interested in all this old nonsense, really, but since the end of Blackadder, the work's been fairly hard to come by.
It's hard to believe that this crumbling old ruin presented Weakest Link for as long as she did.
Of course, the Bronze Age was the third best age in history.
And now the documentary that every Channel 5 commissioner has dreamt of. Did Hitler sink the Titanic?
We've been digging in this field in Hampshire for 3 weeks, and we've found this one piece of crockery, which tells us we desperately need to get laid.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear over a tannoy.
We apologise to customers who have recently alighted at Northampton. I opened the wrong doors.
Could all the people shopping here at Asda please accept that you are piss poor?
Clean up required in the magazine aisle between loaded and nuts.
Would the parents of the lost child please pick him up from the meeting point? Madonna is trying to buy him.
I'd like to remind customers that our special offer this week is 100% off German bean sprouts.
If you would like to upgrade to first class, then you should have worked harder at school and got a better job.
Could the small boy holding the owl stop running at the wall between platforms 9 and 10?
Would the man on pump number 4 please remove the nozzle from the backside of the man on pump number 6?
Could the owner of the Ford Fiesta 1100 in the car park with the tinted windows and the go faster stripes sort your life out, mate, will you?
I can't remember what the code is. Would Mr. Fire please report? Please report to the kitchen. That's Mr. Out of Control Fire. Please report to the kitchen before it's too late. I don't want to start a panic.
The train now approaching platforms 3, 4 and 5 is the derailed train from Swansea.
Would the owners of a black Jaguar please move it as it's attacking the customers?
This is your captain speaking. You can now turn on your mobile phones as you'll need to text your loved ones goodbye as they plummet into the sea.
Unlikely lines from a superhero film.
Worry not, Procrastination Man is here. Where is everybody? What's with all the blood?
Catwoman, what did I tell you about not shitting in next door's garden?
I am Big Society Man. I could do it for you, but I'd much rather you did it yourself.
Prepare to meet a new breed of sex-change superhero in the X-Men.
Yes, I do believe a man can fly, but only if he's carrying under 100 mils.
I am Parking Review Man. Where's my check?
Wow, Iron Man, how did you get all the creases out?
Just call the police.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Well, if you don't know that, what the hell are you doing in air traffic control?
What use is a spider's web against me, Duster Man and Hoover Boy?
Hello, I'm Batman Begins.
I'm sexist, I'm racist, and I drive like an arsehole. I am White Van Man.
Should I do?
Yeah.
You're doing it. This is part of it.
Oh, shit.
Okay, the next topic is unlikely things for a continuity announcer to say.
And now, to upset children everywhere, it's Peppa Pig in pepper sauce.
Oh, God. Oh, God. And Nigella will be back at the same time next week.
Up next, Ryan Giggs appears on Footballers' Wives.
Next up on Channel 4, live from Switzerland, it's Come Die With Me.
And now for a special episode of Planet Earth, where 6 chimpanzees will watch David Attenborough have sex.
And now is the time I have to be extremely careful, because the next programme is about Roald Dahl, genius behind Willy Wanker's Choc Bollocks.
Next on the History Channel, World War II in colour. Look away if you don't want to know how it ends.
Just to clear up some confusion for our regular viewers, ITV 2+1 is not the same as ITV3.
First, though, there's a serial killer on the loose in Balamory.
If you've been affected by some of the issues in EastEnders, they must have been acting it better than they usually do.
And now, Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares for the hard of hearing.
You're watching the Dignitas channel. For God's sake, don't press the red button.
Next up, it's Bargain Hunt, which is also rhyming slang for the bloke who presents it.
Right now, Kate Humble's in the lambing shed.
Oh. Unlikely agony aunt letters.
Dear Deirdre, I have recently become obsessed with a woman and begun stalking her. Look out of the window.
My partner won't give me oral sex, which is really annoying, because that's the only reason I formed the coalition with him in the first place.
My wife says I don't feel anything, which is a problem. And there was something else. Oh, yes, I'm on fire.
I'm 26, my girlfriend's 36. Is 10 years too big an age gap? Because her daughter's 16, she's a right little soul.
I have recently met a woman who makes me feel young again. She's 167.
Dear Deirdre, I'm from Nigeria, and I'm fed up of Mickey Flanagan mocking my accent.
Dear Auntie, I'm a very, very nervous person, and sudden noises really startle me. In fact, even if I hear a buzzer, a bit of wee comes out.
My mates are all getting into drugs, but I don't know what to do. Should I charge them mates' rates or just normal prices?
Dear Deirdre, I am a control freak. What should I do? I'll tell you what I should do.
I am 96, but I'm convinced that young women fancy me. Do I have penile dementia?
I've been wanting to come and see you for a long time, but I can't get out of the chair.
I am a man trapped inside the body of a woman. Could you tell us, please, how to get out of position 43 of the Kama Sutra?
I work in the public sector, and I'm really, really, really worried about my pension.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear at Wimbledon.
Well, at 2 sets down, let's see what he's got in his locker. He's not going to be there for about 20 minutes. I've got a crowbar.
Serena Williams has been seeded. You've got to admire the bravery of that bloke.
Hello, I'm Sue Barker. You may remember my father, Chew Barker.
Well, they say that the All England Club is a bit behind the times, and that's why this small boy has just had his hand chopped off for stealing a strawberry.
I am a tennis umpire and gay, and it wasn't easy to come out.
What a fantastic slice, but I do think the All England Club will insist she wears knickers again next year.
Fuck off, Tim!
Well, how did the umpire get up there? I think he must have used the Sepp Blatter.
Of course, this year the British players play a lot better. If we look at this graph, we see huge biceps and an angry... Sorry, Steffi, wrong graph.
And for any of our Scottish viewers, what you can see there in that glass of Pimm's is fruit.
Andy Murray here. Andy Murray not being able to make it here today, but we do have his cab driver on the other line. Can you tell us what's occurred? I can't get out of the cab!
And the mound has taken a real pounding in the last fortnight. England club are fine with it as long as it doesn't affect her tennis.
Unlikely questions from this year's exams.
Discuss the metaphysical meaning of the following poem. My friend Billy has a 10-foot willy.
Would you like this exam to be A, multiple choice, or not?
The Bronte sisters. Shag, marry, push off a cliff.
Discuss the following. The Nazis got all their ideas from the History Channel.
Who was the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A?
If a bank loses £60 billion in a 6-month period, using numbers that you've plucked out of thin air, work out what the chief executive's bonus will be.
Napoleon, a small man or a long way away?
Quantify n in terms of q when q is a positive integer that dissects a parabolic curve. How's your lucky pencil case now?
What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
Poetry. Is it all a bit gay?
Draw a diagram of the genitalia of the male elephant. Use all 30 sheets of paper provided.
Biology. Without singing, what is the knee bone connected to?
Explain the use of juxtaposition in Macbeth. Alternatively, write down everything you know about Macbeth in a blind panic because you've got no idea what the word juxtaposition is.
Drama. Question 1. What was it that first made you want to become a waiter?
What is your PIN number?
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to read on a motorway sign.
For Middlesbrough, take the exit marked hell and then lose the will to live.
Accident. You were one. Love, Mum and Dad.
When lights flash, dogging is about to start.
There may be trouble ahead. Prepare to face music and dance.
You are now 200 metres beyond the junction that your piece of shit sat-nav is telling you you're approaching now.
For those of you looking for more safety tips, text now.
Beware, giant scissors coming towards you along the dotted lines.
Turn on lights in tunnel. They're on the right, just above the entrance.
Turn off the sat-nav. Use the force, Luke.
The North, where the men are real men, and so are quite a lot of the women.
If you can taste this sign, it means you've crashed into it.
Throw banana skin behind car now. Super Mario and Diddy Kong approaching from rear.
There was a young man from Preston who tried to drive to Heston. The sign wouldn't rhyme and he ploughed into the back of a juggernaut.
Pick us up a pint of milk, Tell. Thanks, Trace.
Unlikely lines from a children's book.
Yeah, Mr. Tickle, you think those arms are big? Wait until you see Hugh's dick.
Oh, Grandma, what big ears you have, said Red Riding Hood. Fuck off, said Grandma.
Do you know what? Said the big friendly giant. I've just been fired from Mock the Week.
How do I get my hair like this? Said Tintin. Well, have you seen There's Something About Mary?
After dropping the breadcrumbs, Hans and Gretel dropped acid to find their way back to Glastonbury.
And then he ate 6 plates of goulash, 5 plates of red cabbage and a pie from Budapest. He was a very Hungarian caterpillar.
Piss off, Malfoy, you little Nazi incel weirdo.
Where's Thomas? Said the passenger. Well, he's delayed, said the Fat Controller. What do you mean? Said the passenger. Oh, I'm not going to explain it. That's real life. Get used to it, you little prick.
One of you, said Toad, is a mole for the Russian government. It's either Ratty, Badger, Moley, or Elena Simonov.
Look, said Harry, Wittgenstein's having a spliff. The philosopher's stoned.
And then Paddington told the lady bear to brace herself before flipping her over and opening a fresh jar of marmalade.
Guys, my dog literally just died. Can we not already happily refer to ourselves as the famous four?
Miss Chatterbox just couldn't stop talking. And that's why we had to kill her, said Mr. Mafia.
Just tell him it stands for Big Friendly Giant, said Sophie. He'll be mad and his heart will be broken if he knows it means bollock-faced grandad.
In the end, all the children died.
We're going on a bear hunt. We've already shot Paddington and turned Winnie the Pooh into a fucking ruck. We're not scared.
At the end of that round, the boys go to James here and Tom. That leaves us with Mickey. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is food. Oh, here you go.
Now, this is one of my favourite topics because I actually hate restaurants. And my wife loves restaurants. She's middle class. She's been skiing and everything. And she loves a restaurant. She says, can we go to a restaurant at the weekend? And I say, yes, we can. And we're barely there 2 minutes, and she's like, isn't it a lovely ambiance? And I say to her, I don't know what you're talking about. I've worked out what an ambiance is. It's a night out about poor people, isn't it, basically? It's People with a few quid to say, can we just have one night out about the poor people turning up? You know what they're like, they'll be banging spoons together, singing My Man's a Dustman, creating an atmosphere. We want an ambiance. So we try and enjoy the ambiance. But something's happened spoiling it for me. There's no tomato sauce on the table. Creating the situation when my wife looked at me, she said, you're going to ask for tomato sauce, aren't you? I said, yes, I am. Because I'm going to have the risotto. You can't eat risotto without red sauce, it's too dry. It's a health and safety issue. You've got to zhuzh it up with a bit of red sauce, right? So I thought, I'm not having it. I said to the waitress, excuse me, do you have any ketchup in the building? She's looked at me like I'm the worst pleb God has ever put breath in. She went off to the kitchen and I saw her making her way back with a pot about that big, about 2 chipfuls of tomato sauce. I thought, oh, here we go. She's tried to put it down and walk away like she's doing a drug deal or something. And I stopped her. I said, hold on, love, don't rush off. And I took a sip of it. And I looked at her, I said, yes, I'll have a bottle, please.
Thank you very much, Jiffy. What's up?
And there they are, Scotland through to the final 16. Dear Babe Station, have you actually read the trade's description of that? A few years ago, my wife and I had a baby. Well, we didn't have it straight away. We had to cook it up for a little while. And so she suggested we go to these classes run by the National Childbirth Trust in our local area. They're very middle-class antenatal classes. They're run by this fascist breastfeeding woman. Who's basically, you can go to her home on a Tuesday night. She's breastfeeding her 9-year-old son during the session. It's not awkward. All the men are checking the coving out. It's come away up there because they should have put glue both sides. That's... No, she's still doing it. What are you going to do? And I think by week 4, she's running out of ideas, so she started on the men. She said, I'm going to ask the men this evening, the men. The men are coming on board. How might they benefit by giving birth to the baby themselves? Can we talk about those benefits? Now, there's 6 of us in a circle. I'm in trap 3. Not the best position, the worst one either. Chap number 1's in the best position. He said, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have an empathy with womankind and her struggle over the centuries, creating a greater relationship with your partner. I was thinking, oh, cobblers, I was going to use that one. Chap number 2 dug in, fair enough. He said, well, if you gave birth to the baby yourself, he said you'd have a bond with the child at a more primeval, physical level. Started crying. Nice touch. Mother Earth looked at me, I'm having a panic attack. So all gone a bit hazy. She said, Michael? I said, well, at least you'll be 100% sure it was yours. Mr. Von Trapp, I'm here from the council. We've had complaints about some terrible singing coming from your house. Golden, relax. We're doing a bit of dinner, mate. You're not sorting out the Middle East here.
And the topic is fashion. OK, Mickey.
Bound to be, wasn't it? I've returned to the vest. Happened a couple of years ago. I was walking through Marx's to get me pants. You always go back to Marx's. And, they know. They look at you. They go, you come back and you went the next, didn't you? Got flash. And I saw the vest. Packet of singlet vests. I thought, I'm having them. Put them in my basket. I covered them over like pornography. Got to the counter. I said to woman, get them in the bag, love, get them in the bag. Got home, I shook one of these vests out. I thought, put it on. I thought, that is the answer. The wife came home. She said, what's all this with the vest? I said, I like them. I'm returned to the vest. She said, I don't mind, but only indoors. So for a couple of years, I've worn the vest, sort of in secret. But the other day, I'd had a couple of cans of beer and I wanted a couple more, so I got up to go out and my wife said, the vest. I said, no more. I refuse to live a lie. I'm standing up for vest wearers all over the world. I marched off down the off here. I've got 2 cans of Stella Artois. Put one in my back pocket, cracked the other one open. And I walked back from the off in my vest. I made a discovery. You drink a can of Stella and wear a vest, you get a bit of space.
Well done there. Points to Lee Flanagan.
And on Time Team tonight, we're in Stratford on Avon, where we've uncovered loads of monkey skeletons and some typewriters. To be honest, I'm not interested in all this old nonsense, really, but since the end of Blackadder, the work's been fairly hard to come by.
The topic is culture.
Yeah, here we go, look. Thank you. I know you're thinking this man doesn't enjoy culture. Well, you're right, I hate it. Now, I am an intellectual. I know I left school with nothing, but I did go to university later on when I got a degree when I was 29. It was tough, speaking up during the lecture, knowing everyone's thinking, blimey, the window cleaner's keen on me. But when I came out, when I got the degree, I thought, that's it, I'll be interested in things now, won't I? It's all going to be fine. So I thought I'll go back to the art galleries again. Went into the art gallery. I don't like art galleries. I'm never quite sure how long you're supposed to look at the pictures for. It should give you a bit of guidance, you know, because I can crack on in a gallery, I really can. 3 or 4 minutes. Boss, that's not bad, that's not bad, that's not bad. Just mess that up. I can be over by the door in about 5 minutes. The wife's crying at her Matisse. Come on, love, there's a Wetherspoons round the corner. But the other thing is, you've got to enjoy looking at other cities, apparently. The city break, does it actually exist, the city break? Is it a real thing? Went with the wife to Prague the other week, and she said, after a couple of days, she said, are you enjoying yourself? I said, yeah, I've just paid 15 quid for 2 cups of coffee. But at least we've got that bridge to walk over again, haven't we? Because I've never done that before. Or maybe we could go to the castle. Who's the chap in the A team who would not get on the aeroplane? Was it A, B, or B, A? What's the name of that round thing that they throw in the Olympics? Discuss.
And simply, it's fashion.
Now, I'll tell you about fashion. Now, a few years ago, I was looking for a new image. So I started going on stage like this, thinking that'll create an image for me. They'll go, you've seen the geezer, stunning looking, where's his top button done? But I subsequently found out the image this tends to create is you're a wanker. So I looked into the whole issue of it, and I'll tell you the situation with the shirt button, OK? So, because the people don't really thought of like that, they tend to undo their top button. There we go. It's better, isn't it? However, it's not enough. Still a bit too high. Still a bit of tension in the room. What you really want is one more. Watch. See that? It's palpable, isn't it? Everyone's going, whoa, thank God for that. That is the level of buttonage we require from a man going out for the evening to the all-bar one. Very good. However, if I go one more, I'm suddenly back to being an arsehole again. How tough is it being a man knowing that you're going through life only ever one button away from being a wanker or an arsehole?
There you go. Well done all of you. The points there. And go to Simon and Mickey. Come on, let's sit down.
Here, Sarge, pass us the art section out the Guardian, will you, mate? I was about to arrest her, Sarge, but to be honest, my bottle went because she shouted out, "I put a curse upon you!
All OK.